the phrase, the power is in the listener. The listening that's happening inside of you is where the power resides to, how you seeing your world, how you're, perceiving others, what kind of possibilities you see. When it comes to leadership or leadership training, most people immediately think about, okay, leading others. This is what leading means. But if you go back to the source of the word to lead, it comes from like Old English or something, and there is the meaning of leading others somewhere, but there's also the meaning of going somewhere, which to me means leadership starts by leading yourself. Right? So if you start leading yourself somewhere, that's the only way where you can actually powerfully and impactfully lead others in the same direction too. You can't stay where you are and try to send other people off. Then that's not leading. That's basically trying to tell others what you're not living. And that's when in companies you find these like nice, placards on the wall and say, these are our values, but everyone knows the leadership is not living up to those values. So then they're not powerfully going there first by themselves. And so this is why this day is less about this is how you can motivate, inspire, and influence others. It's more about how can you go first yourself where you want to go, and by doing that, by being that, inspire others to come with you. This is sort of like where we're putting the focus, just clarifying where we're seeing the greatest power in leadership. And we said this is sort of like the tagline for today, the power is inside of you. And the first bit that we wanted to spend some time on was the phrase, the power is in the listener. The listening that's happening inside of you is where the power resides to, how you seeing your world, how you're perceiving others, what kind of possibilities you see. And we wanted to start with this little exercise. Like the thought experiment that we want to start with is for you to think about someone, and that could be a living person, it could be a deceased person, someone in your life, or someone that you don't even know, right? It could be like a famous person or someone that you always wanted to meet or that you're listening to resources on, but you have never met them personally. The person where if they were to speak to you, you would show up in the most powerful way. You would show up in the most present way. You would basically bring your highest quality listening. You would say, if that person were to talk to me, I would just be there. I wouldn't try to judge what they say through the lens of, is this true? Is this not true? Do I know this? Do I reject this information? You would basically approach the person and the situation from a place of, oh my God, there's so much to learn here. There's so much to see here. There's so much gold in what they're sharing. And you would approach it with a lot of generosity, you could say. And I would love for you to think about a person in your life, in the world, or whatever, where you would bring that quality of listening, that kind of listening. Starting with myself, I've answered that question a couple of times for me, and this morning in the cab, my answer changed, which doesn't say that the previous answer is invalid. But when I think about who's the person currently, I think, where I bring that kind of listening, that would be Steve Hardison. That would be the person that some of you know as the ultimate coach, who has written the book. No, he has not. The book, The Ultimate Coach, is about him, and it's not about him. It's basically a coach from the US who has done so much work on himself. And I feel like when he speaks, he radiates pure love and pure possibility. And that's why I feel like among the living, he's probably one of those people where I bring my highest quality listening when he speaks, either in person or virtually, or I listen to something. Because I know Steve Hardison, I feel like also because he's human, he's done the work on himself, and that's what it is for me. And I would love for you to, reflect on who that is for you. Who is it for you currently?